the Pen Tool. My name's Bob. Today I'm going to show you how to hook up our Miller 4-pack and how to connect up the Lincoln LN 25 feeder to the 8-pack with the Miller inverter. First of all, I'd like to take you around the back here and show you the nameplate on these machines for the input. This particular machines, always look at the back of this to see what your voltages are. This is a 208, 230, 400, 460, 575 machine. Single phase, 3-phase machine. Mostly you use it on the 3-phase if you have no access to 3-phase and you need single phase power. What you do is you drop off the red line going to the connection box, and you're able to link everything up properly for the single phase use. Okay, now we already have this connected in our disconnect box. We're going to power this up today on 480. So we just trip the switch. Turn the power switches on the machines. And what it'll do, it'll display preset voltage, which each one of these are depending on what mode. We're in the MIG mode on this one. When you stick it in the stick mode, which is the mode you want to power this thing up, especially when you're going to run this feeder, you'll see it'll display your open circuit voltage and then your preset amperage. So we don't need to have these on. Turn these off just to give you an idea. So what we want to do is we're going to connect this to our load bank just to show you how the machine kind of operates. So I'll put this in the MIG mode, which takes the load off the machine. Okay, we got the load applied. So now we're able to adjust our amperage on this machine. This would be just like welding with the MIG, but we have a load bank instead, which is the way we test these machines to make sure they're putting out properly. And as you can see, it'll go to our amp to display what our voltage is while we're welding. So what we'll do now, we'll disconnect this and we'll show you how to hook up this feeder. Good. Okay, this is our LN25 feeder we use on a lot of our rentals. A lot of customers use these mount in the field because it's convenient. You can throw the spool wire in, take it to various places where you can get in. We usually run the flux core with this, the inner shield. A lot of people will run the gas, which there's a gas valve on this machine. It has a real good use of the tension for the wire feeds. What it does is you feed the wire through, pull it through the gun. Sometimes you may have to take the nozzle off and the tip just to get it through, depending on how the wire comes through, because it's not always foolproof. And then all you do is snap this into place and you can adjust your tension on this drive roll. You don't want to go too much, because if you squeeze the wire, then what it does, it'll end up clogging itself in the gun. And then you can kind of preset your tension a little bit on this to see how you want it, so you don't want no slack in the wire when you're feeding it. And also on this particular machine, we're going to be running it off of the Miller, so we want to put this switch here in constant current because we're in the stick mode. And we're just about ready to go with this. Okay, the next step is there's a cable that goes to the back of the feeder. There's Swiss locks on it. What we usually do, we hook it to the power source, put the ground connector right to the common on the 4-pack here, and hook it to our work or our piece of metal we're going to weld. The feeder has a sensing lead which these are voltage sensing feeders, what they call them. So that's what we do. Go ahead, put it in the stick mode. Then we're able to run this feeder. We have a variation, we can put it in a high or low range for the wire feed speed depending on your application. On the front panel of this particular machine here, we have a switch. We want to put it the same polarity as what's coming off the welder, which is positive. There's a gas connection on here where the gun would screw in. The cable's connected to the power source. And we want our sensing lead connected to the negative side. And that's what gives us our feed. If I disconnect this, we'll have nothing. This has got to be connected because it has to get the other side of the line for it to work. So if you have problems in not moving, make sure you're ground and everything. You got a good ground where this thing, it'll actually spark when you put it on. It just tells you that we have voltage being applied. And that about sums it up. This is the front panel door. It covers the switches and everything so they don't get destroyed. But also when you go to power this thing up, if you come up with a fault, which is a help, and it tells you exactly what the problem is, where you have an idea if there's a problem, especially if you have a fault where the power's down, it'll come up with the fault, and it'd be P6, says indicated the input voltage is too low. That way you have an idea. Maybe you could check the connection to make sure you don't have a loose leg somewhere, possibly, because all these are checked before they go out. They're all load tested and everything before they go out. And some of them we even test weld with them just to make sure on random. So if you ever have a problem and you see that code come up and it isn't a problem with the power, then you know there's something happened in the machine.